Everyone. Hello, leaders. Hello, leaders. I'm tired. Y'all hang in there with me. It has been a long week. To those of you who are in school after 18, praise you, praying for you. You're amazing. You're wonderful, doing all the things. So I'm tired. Hey, so tonight we are going to talk about just keep swimming. We're going to talk about keeping going, seeing the potential, and not leading no one. Okay. And I know it sounds funny, but it's going to be good. I promise. We have some announcements. So SFR shirts are ready. Get them ASAP. We've got Scentsy Payday coming up. So use that money to grab those shirts so we can look so good at SFR. They're super cute and they're all your words. That is why we asked you guys, what does Scentsy mean to you? Those shirts, that's all your ideas. And so we kind of just plugged them in and made them look like a bar. They're reflecting a bar because this year's theme is reflections. And we want you to reflect on everything that Scentsy is to you. Everything Scentsy's given to you, everything Scentsy's done for you, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is. We wanted that to be represented on a shirt. It is hard to hold Scentsy spirit. And I feel like that's pretty much as close as we could get. So that is what we decided. We planned that out at the airport, right, Whitney, at the airport after our SSD retreat. So we were all in our fields and it was perfect. So grab those. There's a crud ton of colors. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. Snag them up, okay? And encourage your teams also to snag them up, even if they're not going to be at SFR. That is powerful branding right there, okay? So snag them up. Directors, we have a meeting on the 14th. It is going to be so good. I'm so excited to hear from Brittany and Megan and Paige, just all about working like you want the D. I mean, there it is. That's what we say. We say that it makes us chuckle a little bit, but that's what we do, okay? We work like we want the D. All right, so that's on the 14th, and you have all the information in your emails. We have a current incentive right now. Literally, what is that song? It's super inappropriate. No, you can't. I'm on live and you're in underwear. Goodbye. Thank you. Y'all, it's been a day. It's been a whole day. Anyways, he was really going to tell y'all about something very silly. But Wax and Pods, there's a song. And it's very inappropriate. WAP. I don't know the song. It just reminds me of Wax and Pods. So there's that. That is what we're working towards. So 100 bars and 25 pods. Be encouraging your teammates. Show them what you're doing to hit that incentive or working towards in that incentive so that they will be encouraged to do the same. This is an incentive. They're like, literally, if you're working your business, there's no reason you should not hit this as a leader. Showing your people, this is what I'm doing to get it. And also this is what we do. Hold on. I was at a director meeting all day yesterday for homeschooling. And one of the things one of the directors said is there is no such thing as perfection. She does not expect perfection from her children or even from the students in our homeschooling program. But she does expect excellence. And I thought that was so profound because she's like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do need to be working at whatever you're doing with excellence. And I think that's huge for leaders. We need to be working with excellence. Why are you not working with excellence? Okay. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You might not even hit your goal, but if you're working with excellence, you're going to grow. If you're teaching that down to your people and you're showing that, they're going to grow. One way we grow is hitting incentives. And this is one of the easiest incentives we've ever had. So do it. Okay. It's a blessing and it's going to pump them up to think I could do more. And that's what we want. That's where the magic is. And then we have a special thing for you guys at the end of this meeting. For those who hang in there with us and stay around and don't just hop off for popcorn, we have a special thing just to say thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening and pouring back into yourself. We want to pour back into you. So I'm excited for that. Someone's going to get lucky and it's going to be good. And that's our announcements.
Yay, so much exciting things. I see y'all in the chat saying y'all are going to get those chairs. We've been asking for camping chairs forever. So the fact that we can get them free, so exciting. Love the colors. I mean, there's just so much opportunity there. So I'm going to go first. Anya said what our topic is tonight, just keep swimming. So we cannot start without watching a little clip. Okay. Because it's just where we are right now. Let me know if you can hear it, or if you can't, actually, that'd be better.
Wow, Dusty. The mask, where's the mask? Oh.
Woo. Just keep going on, doesn't it? What you doing?
It's gone. I've lost the mask.
Would you drop it?
You dropped it. That was my only chance of finding my son. Now it's gone.
Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills. When life gets you down, you know what you gotta
I
do?
don't want to know what you got to do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim, swim.
Doreen, I'm singing.
I
Doreen.
love to swim.
Doreen.
When you want to swim.
See, I'm going to get stuck now with that song. Now it's in my head.
Sorry.
Cheat up your part.
Walmart. Okay. So if you just watched that and you didn't smile, you may need to check your pulse, because that's just so fun. So I want y'all to put in the chat, what is something that stood out to you from that little clip from Finding Nemo? We chose, okay, positivity. Yes, we chose this topic for the reasons that Anya said at the beginning: keep going, seeing the potential, not leading no one. So when we do these trainings for y'all, one, we're always looking for what we're going to talk about. I mean, to be completely honest, what do our leaders need? What can we do to help them? What are our leaders struggling with? Some of y'all share those things, some of you don't with us. So we thought this would be a good topic to go over, because there's going to be some reminders. If you've been a leader for a while, and we always say this, but you're going to hear a lot of repeats. But if you're not changing what you're doing and you're expecting something different, that's not how it works. So keep going. It's uplifting. Just keep going through adversity, positivity. Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills. Yes, I love that part. Never give up. The thing that stuck out to me was at the end where she was literally holding him by the fin by fin, hand by hand. Just keep swimming. They were all together at the end, right? And I have to, and that's how I'm starting my part, is it starts with you. As a leader, just keep swimming, just keep going. It's going to start with you as a leader, okay? When things aren't easy, or things are bad or less than good, or however you want to describe it that makes you feel best, the future of your business starts with you as a leader, okay? You have to realize that we are independent business owners. We do have a great community. We work together, but me, Anya, your leader, your director, can't do this for you, okay? Fish rot from the head down. Kara coming in hot with all the things, yes. It's all about you. It starts with you. So let's just be transparent. A lot of team numbers are down, from all the way down. Superstar director, star director, every superstar consultant, everybody, right? We all know that. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. But so are their leaders. Okay. So I can say confidently, for me and Anya, we always have our PRV. That's something that we strive ourselves on. My PRV, I did my review with home office area. That's something that I strive on, that is always consistent. No matter where the world is, no matter what's going on, my PRV is always going to be consistent, okay? And we're trying to teach y'all to do the same. And not just with PRV, but business-wide, okay? So when we have leaders that come to us and they say, oh, well, just no one's working, or that's the biggest one. No one's working. No one's listening. No one's responding. It's always focused on someone else or what someone else is doing or not doing. Okay. And you have to realize too, that as a leader, just because they're not doing it, or you feel like maybe you're alone, one, you're not, because as leaders, we're all going through the same thing. But we have to realize that our consistency in our business, our consistent PRV, our consistent sponsoring, our consistent showing up, our consistent coaching is still going to continue to snowball effect. Okay. So when I hear people say, oh, well, my team's not working, and then I go look at a team page, or I go ask, when's the last time you contacted your people or talked to so-and-so or checked in with someone? It's been a while. Okay. The leaders page was awesome last month with the live videos. Those were awesome. But as a whole, I can tell a difference in just the momentum and the interaction of the group. Okay. I myself, I'll just speak for myself. I try to interact on everything. And if I can interact on literally everything and take a moment to read, then you can also do the same to do a few. I'm not saying you have to be on everything. I'm not saying you have to interact on everything, but as a whole, it starts with us. Okay. As a leader, we can't just dip out and ghost on people. Okay. I have people who they'll say things like, oh, my team's not working, like I just said, but then they haven't trained or shared on their directors. Whether this is for everyone, by the way, this is from lead consultant to SD, SSG, everybody. This is for everybody. This is for me and Anya too. Okay. But you can't dip out and ghost people. You can't do that in leadership. Now, does it happen? Absolutely. And if it does happen once or twice, or something crazy's happened in life, we get that, but that can't become a habit. We can't just come around when we need to be paid a title. We can't just come around when we need something to happen, right? Your team and your leaders, we can't just stop and expect everyone else to do the things that you're not doing. Okay. And I know that may be hard to swallow. It takes a lot to self-reflect and say, am I doing that? That's a big part of leadership too, to say, you know what, I have really been slacking lately. I need to change that, right? No one's perfect. No one. Me, I'm not perfect. Anya's not perfect. No one's perfect. So again, this is for all of us. And on the flip side of that, I get that it's hard, because when you're always, as a leader, you're giving, you don't get a lot in return. Trust me, we get that. We get that. Okay. We get that on the leaders page. We pour and pour and pour. If you go to our YouTube, there's hundreds of videos. We've done a lot of training in our time. And part of our leadership too is evolving and figuring out what our leaders and our teams need now compared to maybe what they needed then. Okay. And we don't ever want to reinvent the wheel. So you won't ever, well, I don't say ever, but you won't catch me doing a training on something I've already done. I'll share an old training. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to redo a training, but that's the whole point of having that database of videos, to say, oh yeah, check this out, right? So things like 500 by the 5th, high sales, sponsoring, leading from the front. If you are doing all the things, if you're successful, if you're in that top PRV, if you're in that top TWV, if you're in that top active frontline shout out, if you're getting emails from your leaders, are you sharing how you're getting there? Are you sharing what you're doing? And I know y'all have all heard this, because we talk about sharing a lot, but are you actually doing them? Okay. We have people who don't like to share for many reasons, whether it be they don't feel like they need to repeat what's already been said, whether they feel like they aren't worthy, that no one wants to hear them. Maybe they feel like when they post on the page, no one responds. I've heard that a lot. Oh, well, when I share, no one responds to me. Okay, but here's the other part of that. It's just like with the team. If you share with your team once a month, they're not going to pay attention to you. They don't trust you. They don't know you, right? But if you consistently do that, you're going to build that trust with people. They're going to know who you are. They're going to know your name, right? Same thing with the leaders page, same thing with your team page, same thing with email, same thing when you reach out to someone, okay? And it's hard because like I said, as a leader, you're doing a lot, you're giving a lot, you're always pouring, and you have to be really careful not to pour into those drains. That's what we have to decide as a leader, where we're pouring and how much we're pouring and what we're doing. So what's working, what's not, and are you showing up? It's hard to perform when other people aren't, but that's what's going to set that 1% apart. Okay. So when you're performing and you're still showing up when other people aren't, or maybe you feel like you're alone out here, you're just going to share it. I'm just going to share this graphic I made like Brittany did that day, and we'll see what happens, right? You shouldn't have to share that. Here are these pictures I took. Kelsey did that today, right? Those little things are going to make a difference. Those little things are going to help you build your community within your leadership circle as well. Okay. So it starts with you. You're going to have that you're going to have that self-reflection. And I'm going to talk about some actionable items in a little bit of what you can do to make sure it's starting with you. The other part is seeing the potential in yourself. If you have not yet, forever long, I don't know. How long you've been here in Cincy, I want you to take a look at what you've done. I want you to take a look at whatever is important to you, whether it be sales, whether it be lives blessed, whether it be commission, whether it be incentives, whether it be time spent at home, whether it be an activity or a moment you're at home when maybe you wouldn't have been able to before. I want you to take a look at what you've done, because guess what, guys? You get to write your future in this business. You get to decide that because you're an independent business owner. And then seeing the potential in others. A huge part of leadership is seeing potential in people that may not see it in themselves. And let's be completely honest, we're not going to see potential in everyone. And there's also going to be people that you don't see potential in that surprise you. Okay? Because we're not God, right? But I'll tell you one thing, whoever is showing up now in the harder times, huge. Whoever's continuing to share, whoever's not giving up, whoever's not being quiet. That's who I'm looking at. That's who I'm working one-on-one with, okay? And I know I talked a lot about like our leaders page, but our leadership community and our leadership group isn't based on a Facebook page. Me and Anya have done more work behind the scenes, AKA what everyone can't see, that has really glued our communities together, and had those relationships outside of a Facebook group. Because here's the thing, what you see posted on social media is not always the truth. We know that, right? Same thing in all parts of social media, Facebook groups, director groups, Cincy groups, consultant run groups. Okay. You don't know, just like getting to know someone, right? So if someone's saying something bad about someone, but you've never had that interaction with them, you have to decide on your own. You're not going to know that without getting to know them, and you're not going to get to know someone through a Facebook group. So don't measure your success as a leader by social media. Okay. But whoever's showing up in these hard times on your team, up and down, upline and downline. Okay. Is super important. Surrounding yourself with the right people. I literally wrote, can I get an amen? Surrounding yourself with the right people. Because here's the thing, if you're in, even if it's just a friends group, not even Cincy related, but they're always talking shit about someone. They're always, I'm just gonna say, they're always pointing out the negative part of something or someone, maybe whether it be an event or a meeting or on social media, dear Lord, right? If you're finding that it's a negative space, the only person that can take them out of that space is yourself. Because like I just said, someone can feel a certain way, but until you yourself got your big girl panties on and say, you know what, this just isn't for me. I'm going to remove myself from this relationship, from this environment, from this, whatever. You're the only one that can do that. And that is a leader. That is someone who says, you know what, I may be alone in this, but this isn't serving me. You're not serving me. And being able to say, I deserve better. I don't want to always be in a negative space. This doesn't make me feel good. And we've talked about that a lot too. So let's talk about the actionable items, because y'all know I'm all about taking action and doing these things. So the first thing I want you to do, and I want you to write these down. I did have them numbered and they're not numbered on here. I think there was 4. The first one is, write it down. Do a review of your sales for the last 3 months. Do a review of your sales for the last 3 months, not including June. Okay. I want you to look at your PRV. I want you to look at, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but I want you to look at how you got that PRV. I want you to look at the goals that you had for your PRV those last 3 months, because if you're a leader and your leader is asking to share your goals, you would be sharing those, right? So they would be written down somewhere. So I want you to do a review of your sales, because we're not asking people to do anything that we're not doing. The second thing is do a review on your sponsoring the last 3 months. How many people have you sponsored in the last 3 months? Okay. And that one may be hard. I get it. I get it. I want you to do a review. I want you to see how many people you're sponsoring, because the big goal, right, that we always talk about is what? Someone put it in the chat. What's the goal for building a big business? What are the 3 things? Yep, wide base, 2K PRV, 2 new teamies a month, and showing up for your team. Yes. So that's the goal. Is that going to happen every month? No, it's not. It may, but it may not. Okay. And that's okay. But we need to do that. And this review is not to make you feel bad about maybe what you have or haven't done. You have to have that self-reflection in a self-run business. Okay. Unless we're having a call and I'm like, hey girl, you ain't sponsored in the last 3 months. What's going on? Right. I shouldn't be the one, Anya shouldn't be the one, your director shouldn't be the one that's like, what are we doing? Right? Those are the people that are realizing that on their own, again, are going to be that 1%. So do a review of your sponsoring the last 3 months. What needs to change in those 2 things? I want you to make a plan and I want you to make a goal. And when I say make a plan and a goal, you can work backwards, make a goal and then make a plan. But if you're not producing in your PRV where you want to be, again, if you want a big, long-standing business, it needs to be at least 2K. Okay. Now, if you're averaging 500 for the last 3 months, you're not going to make a goal of 2K. You're going to make a goal of probably 750 or maybe 800, right? Because we're going to work in increments. Because here's the other part of this business is PRV like this is not good. Well, I don't want to say it's not good, but it's not sought after. You want to be like this or this or this. Okay. We don't want to be up and down. We want to be consistent. I would rather you be consistent in getting 1K every month than having 3K and then having 50 and then having 100. Okay. Because that shows me that you don't have a business plan as far as how you're getting your PRV. Okay. So that consistent PRV, what needs to change in those 2 things, sponsoring and sales, make a plan and goals, independent business owner is what I have written down. And then the third actionable item. So the first one was review of sales. Second one was review of sponsoring. The third thing is review on your team. Look who is performing within sales and sponsoring. So here are a couple things that may happen when you do that. 1, no one is. No one's performing. No one's active. No one's sponsoring. No one's responding. No one's nothing. Not in nowhere. We don't know where they are. We don't know if they are alive. Legit, I haven't heard from them. I don't know. Okay. I hope that doesn't happen. But this is where you get your inner Whitney. And you're going to be real honest. Okay. Just stay with me. Just stay with me. And you're going to say something along the lines of, This is just an example. Again, make it like you, but it is going to be hard for some of you. Hey, I've noticed your XYZ, whether it be sales, sponsoring, or sales and sponsoring, has been down the last few months. Is that something you won't help with? Okay. Hey, I've noticed your XYZ has been down the last few months. Is that something you won't help with? Why? Because you're their leader. And if you haven't done that in the last 3 months, if you haven't checked in and said, hey, what's going on? Can I help you? If you haven't done that check-in in the last 3 months, now's the time to do it. If you have done it, maybe you did it in January, I'd suggest probably doing it one more time. Okay. Brittany did it Monday. Brittany's always on it. So Brittany's 0.1%. If you're not doing those things as a leader, so here's the thing, you're still reaching out to your people, right? Hey, I noticed your sales are down the last few months. Is that something you won't help with? Let's use sponsoring as an example. Hey, I noticed your sponsoring has been down the last few months. Is that something you won't help with? But hey, I'm Susie Q and I haven't sponsored in 6 months. I'm their leader, but I haven't sponsored. So should you be training them on sponsoring if you haven't sponsored in 6 months as a leader? Probably not. Probably not. That's when you're going to ask someone who you know who is sponsoring to help you and your people. That is why we have legacy leaders. So if I was Susie Q and what's another name? Poppy girl hadn't sponsored in 6 months together. Poppy, you better know who Poppy is. If you don't know who Poppy is, I'm going to get you. Okay. You're going to say, oh my gosh, Megan Moore, let me message my girl real quick. Hey, Megan, me and my girl Poppy want some tips on sponsoring. Would you mind coming to our team page, or would you mind sharing what you did last month to get 4 new teamies and 2 reinstates? Boom. You've helped yourself. You've helped your teammate, and you've reached within our community and used someone that you know is sponsoring because she was shouted out last month for it. And if you're paying attention, you see that, right? So here's the other thing of that. If you reach out to someone and you are doing those things and they don't answer you, and if y'all have any other questions, let me know on how to do this, because the way that people go about how they talk to people, I think, is scary. If that's you, you can raise your hand or send me a message. And I get that, because you don't want to push people off, but you want to be there, but you don't know if they really want help. You're just right there. That's why you're just going to check in and say, hey, do you need help? That's your job as a leader, to check in with them and see if they need help. Okay. Now, I'm not saying message them every day or every month and then ghost you. Absolutely not. No, ma'am. No. I'm saying if you haven't done that in a while, which a lot of people haven't. But if you reach out to someone and they're not doing it, but you are, that's when we're going to say, girl, I have this great training I've done. I'm going to send it to you. I want you to watch it. Message me back when you're done. Let me know what questions you have and let's talk about it. Okay. That's coaching right there. I want you to do this. I want you to get back to me. You could even say, I'm going to do it too, because I want to help my sponsoring, right? And it doesn't have to be from you. It can be from someone you know that's successful in Cincy, right? If they are performing in sales, after you do this review of your team of who is performing within sales and sponsoring, if they are performing in sales or sponsoring, reach out to them, recognize that they're doing that, right? We're recognizing their accomplishments, and ask them to share what they're doing on your director's team page. Hey, Lily, you had over 2K PRV. Will you share on my director Eric's page what you're doing? Because a lot of people are struggling right now, and I think it could be helpful. Here's the thing. Here's another thing they might say. I don't know what I did to get that. Okay, well, let's walk you through that. What we're going to do is, for sales specifically, we're going to say, awesome, well, let's go through your order history. And I want you to write down for each order how you got it. Where did you go to get that order? Who heard through the grapevine that you were selling a diffuser? Was it a story post? Was it Facebook? Was it an email? Was it a party? Was it an event? Was it, you don't know how they got your information, right? Go through it. And I know this is real, I don't want to say dumb it down, but step by step, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through the order history and we're going to say, how did you get those sales? Okay, because here's the other thing, if you ask someone to do that and they can't tell you how they did that, that's a red flag, just as a leader. If they can't tell you how they're getting their sales, especially when you ask them to go through the order history, that's another conversation as far as where they're getting that. Okay. Same thing for sponsoring. I don't know how I sponsor all those people. Yes, you do. We're gonna go back. I want you to go back to that conversation. I want you to go. When did you first drop that hint? Did they see you post about something? Did they really? The chance that someone randomly reached out to someone without seeing any post or any idea, how did they even know you're a Scentsy consultant, right? The chance of that happening is very rare. So there was something that they saw or heard or did to see that you're a Scentsy consultant to join you. Okay, just share it, right? And that is how you're going to start pulling those leadership qualities out of people, because sometimes that's their quick answer. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, well, let's figure it out. We're going to figure out how you just got 4K PRV in 1 month, right? So those are your actionable items. Your PRV, your sponsoring, your team's PRV and sponsoring, and then asking them to share how they did it. 1, it's going to help you. 2, it's going to help them. 3, it's going to help your downline. And 4, it's going to help the team that you're on. Okay. Now, regardless of what you find on your current team. And here's the other part of this. If you're on the 22 people, first of all, thanks for showing up. But regardless, what was I about to say? Yes. If when you go through this, you get stuck, or maybe you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Reach out to me and Anya. I think every single person has our cell phone number. If not, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, but like all of our information is out there. If you want it, you want it. Please message us and say, hey, this is what I did. This is what happened. Even just updating that you're doing the things that we're sharing is very helpful to us to know who to work with, right? And who to continue to work with. Don't call me either. I'm sorry. Don't call me. Yeah, sorry. Just text me. Unless it's an emergency, but I probably still won't answer until I listen to your voicemail. But just text me. But regardless of what you find on your current team, if you want to grow or if you want to maintain. So if you want to stay a star consultant, awesome. Love it. Cool deal. Or if you want to be a superstar consultant, this is just an example, you're going to need to sponsor. Either way, because the team that got you to star is not going to be the team that keeps you at star. The team that got you to director is not going to be the team that keeps you at director. You must always be growing to maintain what you have. You must always be growing to maintain what you have or to grow. And I'm going to just give you an example. And I'm going to share these goals from home office that I double checked with home office to make sure I'm giving you the right information as far as active frontline. But for me personally, I have 73 frontline. Okay. In May of those 73, 28 were active. Okay. So when you see something like that, you're like, that was my lowest probably percentage in a very long time. Probably since I was a lead or star consultant. Not even half of my frontline were active. Okay. And as you grow, that percentage is going to get lower. That's just how it works. Okay. So as you grow in the front line, the percentage of the people active are going to go down. Okay. I've always been a 50%er, but that's the goal actually in Scentsy as a title, to have at least half of your frontline active. So if you have 10 frontline, the goal is to have 5 active every single month. Okay. But just to give y'all something to compare it to and know that we are working towards those things too. The goal for an SSD is 100 frontline and 50 active. So again, a 50% rate. Okay, so that should be your goal too. And I'm going to share it by title, and I've shared it in Legacy Leaders, but I'll share it again. But just to give y'all an idea of throughout my journey, I have had directors who have taken a non-leadership role who are now not even a consultant anymore due to inactivity. So let me say that again. I've had a director who took a non-leadership role. So she didn't want to be a director anymore. Totally fine. But is now not even a consultant due to inactivity. You're a leader, you should know you have to go a year without being active to do that. So we went from the top 3% of the company down to not even being a consultant anymore. That's a lot of change. And that happened over about 3 years, but that's a big change. I've had people who are active once a year. They have a place on my team. They are more than welcome to be active once a year. That is their minimum. That's what they want to do. That's fine. I'm not going to tell them they have to be active every month. Is that the goal for me, for them? Yes, they know that. I want everyone to be active because I think that's a good way just to stay active in your business with even just getting a discount. Whole nother training. But those are just some examples of with the sponsoring, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm a star consultant and I have 4 active frontline and I want to promote to superstar consultant. Okay. So this is where we start talking about the foundation of our business, because the foundation of our business is so much more important than promoting to a certain title. Okay. So you must always be growing to maintain or to grow in this business. Our co-CEO, so Dan Orchard, shared with us at Summit that and made it very clear that that needs to be a focus in our business. Me and Anya, not everyone did this, but me and Anya brought it back to our leaders and said, hey, this is what we were shared with that we need our focus to be on. So if the CEO of the company or co-CEO or interim CEO is telling me to focus on something, you best believe I'm going to focus on it. Okay. And we're sharing that with you. So here are the goals to work on by title. And I will post this in the page. So don't feel like you have to scramble to write it down. But once you hear your title, I really want you to listen. And then I want you to self-reflect on what you have. Okay. Because the other part of it is what a lead consultant goals are. If you have that, great. If you're wanting to sponsor, the next goal is going to be the next title. So as a lead consultant, the goal is to have 4 frontline total and have 2 active frontline. As a lead consultant, we know that as a lead consultant, you don't need 2 active frontline to be paid a title. But if you're building that foundation, that's the goal. Star consultant, 8 frontline total. Star consultant, 8 frontline total, 4 active. A goal of 4 active frontline every single month. And if you're like, ooh, that is not me, that hasn't ever happened, it's okay. This isn't happening with a lot of people. These are goals to work towards. So don't feel a certain way. Superstar consultant, 12 frontline is the goal. 12 frontline for superstar consultant, 6 active frontline, a 50% rate active. Okay. Director, 24 frontline. 24 frontline, 12 active frontline for director. Okay. Star director, 40 frontline. 40 frontline. And on this, they have 24 active frontline. That's not a 50% rate. Obviously, that's a little bit more. You can make it 20 if you want to feel better. It's fine. And then, like I shared, star direct or superstar director, 100 total, 50 active frontline. I'm still working towards that. I cannot wait until the day I have 50 active frontline. I think the most I've ever had was like 46. Okay. And that was during hypergrowth. And that was awesome. Those were awesome months. Your active frontline is a representation of your business for sure. Okay. So last but not least, well, next to last, I'm sorry I've talked so long, but things to stop saying. Stop saying it. Dang it. No one wants to party. No one wants to buy. No one wants to join. No one's working. It is entirely not true. You may feel that way, and that's valid. I've felt that way. I've said those things. I've thought those things, but they are entirely not true. People are partying. People are buying. People are joining. People are working. But I do want to take note that we are in a different time than a lot of us are used to. And I had my call with Home Office and Michelle Snyder, who did a reporting training for us a few months ago. And we as a company are really in a relearning state. And that's where our mindset needs to be, especially as leaders. The way that we did business a year ago is not going to be the same way we're going to do business today. If you're in the mindset that I've always partied, I'm posting the same things I did when I was successful, but it's not working. It's not working, so let's change it. we're going to have to put a little bit more effort in. Here's the other side of that. Yes, Alicia, growth mindset. Exactly. Here's the other thing that you need to learn, your expectations in your business. We are so used to tons of promotions, tons of being paid a title, tons of success, because we were in a hyper growth season. If you look at the past of our Scentsy as a whole, not just our group, we had a hyper growth, and that's hard to swallow. That's hard to realize. That's hard to say, oh, wow, I had a lot of success in hyper growth. We did. Okay. A lot of people promoted. A lot of people were paid at title consistently. A lot of people were making a lot of money, right? We're not in that time right now. We're in a different economy. We are post hyper growth. Okay. As a group and even as a company, I've said this before, we were here before hypergrowth here, and then we're about here, maybe right in here. Okay. So this is like pre-COVID, this is COVID, and this is where we are now. So yeah, we're a little down, but compared especially to our group of pre-COVID, I think we went from a group of 19 to a group of 870 something. Okay. So that's the difference we're talking about right now. Pre-COVID, COVID now. Can there be success now? Absolutely. Can there be promotions now? It's happening. I've had a promotion every single month. Okay. Can there be paid a title? Absolutely. But that's where we got to put our blinders on, and we really got to focus on our business and what we're doing and what we're doing as leaders specifically. Because if we're not working our own business as leaders, we cannot expect our team to do the same. So relearn and adapt. And that's all. I'm sorry it was so long on you. You had to sit there and just listen to me out. It's all you.
I like listening to you. I always have. That's why I am where I am, listening to Whitney and implementing. Okay, so before we really get into the nitty gritty, side note, all of those people examples were Whitney's dogs. Okay, like if anybody caught that, those are all Whitney's dogs. She's supposed to sing Poppy, and I was like, who would name their child Poppy? Okay, but also Princess Poppy, and the new movie for Trolls is coming out soon. Anyways, love that movie. So there is that. Also, just a side note on potential. I want you guys to think about it this way, and I hit on this. Oh, Megan, of course. Of course, my sweet flowery Megan, who is literally like a Disney princess, was going to name her daughter Poppy. That does not surprise me. I love that. I love that so much. But I want you guys to think about this, because I want to say, Whitney, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. When I joined, Whitney was a star consultant. Am I correct? I think I'm correct. Okay. So, and I was very much, I'm not selling. Girl, leave me alone. I just want a discount. Like, okay, hot mess over here, doing all the things. But she really did see the potential in me before I saw it even in myself. And so I want you to think about that as leaders. You can see the potential in someone before they can see it in themselves. And that comes with a caveat. You cannot want it more for someone than they want it. Okay. So I want you to remember that too. You cannot want it for someone, and I'm going to dig into that a little bit more, than they want it, but also you have this beautiful, heavy blessing of seeing the potential in someone who literally is like, no, I could never. It never dawned on me that I could even be a director until Whitney was like, hey, like you're close to director numbers. And I was, me? What? And I had done multiple direct sales, okay? But I'd never gone anywhere. And so I want you to remember that as a leader, you can see things that they cannot see in themselves. And especially in our world today, there is so much, especially for women, you're not doing enough, you are not enough, okay? Where they're like, dang, everybody else is doing way more than me, I could never be. That you can sit there and you can say, but you could, and I can see it. So just remember that. So many people don't have anyone pouring into them, okay? And you are the person to pour into them. But again, you have to have those boundaries, all right? So remember that, keep that in your head as leaders. You can see the potential in people, then some people, they would never even think about it. And I literally would not be where I am today if it wasn't for Whitney believing in me when I never even believed in myself. Okay. So keep that in your back pocket. All right. And that's what we see in all of you, especially when you show up to meetings. We see that in you. We see that. We're like, they're hungry. We are going to feed them. Okay. Moving on. What else did I have? Okay. The other thing, the other little nugget. We share all of this not to discourage you, not to be like, your team sucks. What are they doing? Like, you are not doing enough, but to tell you there are very, very, very few, y'all. If you could think of the weirdest thing that you would ever even encounter in Scentsy world, like the weirdest, there are very few situations that Whitney and I have not dealt with, okay? As superstar directors, like sometimes it gets really weird and you're like, the Lord did not prepare me for this right here. This has nothing to do with wax and warmers, okay? But I just want you to know we have been through it. We're here to help you. So when we say things, don't be like, they're coming at me, they're harping on me. We love you. We want to uplift you and be with you. We do literally. I'm like, listen, this girl's talking about her sales, but like also she's on a poll in the club. Whitney, what am I supposed to, how do I break it to her that that's probably why her sales are down? Like, this is awkward for us all. We talk about all the things because we're truly better together. I could not come up with the words for that on my own, right? So I have to ask, help me. Hi, what do we do? Okay. And we do, we bounce it off. We make sure that it's kind and it's loving, but it's straight to the point so we can help others. So just keep that in mind as we talk to you leaders. Okay. All right. Next. We're going to get into it now. Stop leading no one. And I know that sounds so weird. You're like, I'm a leader. I'm here. What do you mean stop leading no one? That was one of the things that was said by an 18-year-old. I got preached to by an 18-year-old at our homeschool big convention with all the parents. She just graduated from our program. And that was something she said. We are being brought up to lead. And I was like, wow, like how profound is that? These 18-year-olds already have this mindset. They're going to lead something, right? Did not graduate with that mindset. I was like, woo, we're going to have a good time. Okay. Yeah, that was not my mindset. But that was her thing. She's like, we're brought up to lead. We're taught to lead because one day we're going to be leading in a business. We're going to be leading maybe our families. Maybe we're going to be leading, I don't even know, anything, right? An art class, whatever it is. They're going to be leading something, okay? And she said, but the issue is we have to know and know how to see to stop leading no one. And I was like, whoa, how many times in my business have I tried to lead no one? So many times, I have poured and I've poured and I've poured, and they don't want to be led, okay? So you need to stop leading no one, all right? I say it with all love in my heart, but I was telling my husband this the other day, Whitney, also, I need to text you after this. Like, we got a lot going on military wise. But I was telling my husband the other day, at the end of the day, the Army does not care about you by yourself. Okay. They just don't. It's for the greater good of the Army. That's the way it goes. But you have to take care of you. Who is going to say Kevin's health matters? You, me, right? Who is going to say, Alicia, your business matters? Alicia is. People on her team are going to peace out. They're going to go. They're going to be like, this doesn't really matter to me. I'm out. See you later, girl. Have fun at SFR. But for Alicia, she's like, no, wait a minute. This is providing for my family. Okay. No, I'm not coming to Campbell. You went too far in the positive. We're reeling it back. Lord, but that's the thing is you have to take care of you. Okay. And so I want you guys to remember that you cannot lead no one. So stop wasting time in your business. I want you to think about this. What are you wasting time on in your business? Okay. Maybe you're putting too much into your mail outs. Maybe you are really making too many cutesy Canva things. And you're like, okay, but like, this is really kind of a waste of time at this point. Where are you wasting time in your business? You're going to write that down for yourself, self-reflect. Okay. Then I want you to think about what time are you wasting trying to get people to see the gold of this business who just don't want to? Where are you wasting time trying to get people to see things that they just don't want to see? They don't care. Okay. In our business, time is money. Really, with everything, time is money. Okay. So if you're over here and you're like, but I'm here to make money, but I'm busy putting all of this energy into people who just don't care, you are not really making money. All right. And I need you to look at it like that, because we don't want to see people as numbers, but we do have to remember what this business is for and what we're doing and why we're doing it at the end of the day. Okay. Yes. Look at this, Alicia. I like it, girl. Alicia's one of our new leaders, and I'm so happy to see that. We'll be talking, you and I. But I want you to remember that, okay? So where are you wasting money when it comes to leading no one? All right, so all my people pleasers, okay? My people pleasers, where are you wasting money where it comes to trying to lead no one? Kendra, we can talk about that. I got you. We're gonna earn you a trip, and he won't be talking nothing, I promise. Okay, we'll work that out. All right, so I want you to remember time is money. Okay, I want you to think about, why am I over here trying to lead people who don't want to be led? Why? For what reason? Like, what is it inside of you that makes you want to lead people who literally are like ignoring you? They don't want anything to do with sense. Either like, I'm good just being active once a year, which is cool, but that is not where I'm pouring my energy into. Okay. We have to be smart about what we're doing. All right. So if you give them the tools and they don't want it, that is on them. Please stop feeling bad for that. Please. Okay. As someone who's a recovering people pleaser and has spent so much time and literal money, not just making sensey money in therapy, okay, trying to pour into people who just don't want it, stop feeling bad. Yes, Marissa, love them where they're at. Teach them where they're at. Give them what they want. And the rest is up to them. They're adults, you guys. We've got to stop acting like these are our kids, okay? And I love to love people. I'm like, let me love you. Come back here, please. But like, they're not my children, okay? They don't want to be loved, and I have to be respectful of their boundaries because they are adults. So keep that in your head too, okay? So if you give them the tools, they don't want it, go find more. I say very often, if I'm too much, go find less, but we're reversing that. If they don't want it, go find more. They already want less. That means you need to be constantly expanding that network. Because if you're like, I have no one to sponsor, it's because your network's not big enough. And every time I look and I'm like, dang, who am I supposed to talk to about joining? That's the first thing. You know what I need to do? Book 2 more parties. Because that means my network is not big. There's a solution to every single thing in this business. 97.5 of them, 0.53, come down to partying. You've got to party. And I've heard people say, oh, well, you know, I wasn't consistently partying. But you want a big business. That's not going to work. You have to consistently party. Okay. So I want you to remember that. I want you to think about the fact that people's circumstances can change whenever. I did not think I could be a leader. It didn't cross my mind, didn't even think about being a director, but my circumstances changed. And I thought, how the heck am I supposed to be a single mom, homeschooling my kids and take care of them? And Scentsy was my answer. My circumstances changed in an instant, okay? That happens for so many people in way different ways, but you don't know. So as long as you're giving them the tools and you're like, hey, here are the tools. When they're ready and you're doing that regular, every few months check in, hey girl, just want to make sure you're good. Still happy with where you're at? What's going on? That's going to tell you right there, you know what, actually, I think I might need a little bit more. Let's do it. But I'm not going to push that on them if they're just not ready to hear it, because then you're talking to a brick wall. Okay. So stop trying to shove, see the potential down people's throats. Okay. Again, we can't lead no one. If they don't want to be led, stop. They will see. Alicia said it earlier, people are watching. It's not just with your customers, it's with your teammates too. Hold on, wait a minute. You just bought a car? You're a homeschool mom? There's no one else on your loan? How are you doing that? Scentsy. Wait, you just got a trip to Cabo? How are you doing that? Scentsy. They're watching, okay? And eventually, if they're ready, they're going to be like, okay, this is what I need. I have the vessel. I need to make use of it. Okay. But you can't shove it down their throats. That is one of the things when I went through my really difficult time, Whitney was like, do you want it or not? When you want it, I'm here for you. That was probably the best thing she ever could have done for me, because she wasn't like, you need a party. Hi, I need you to be active. Yep, I'm counting on you. You're my third front line. What are you doing? Girl, you got to get active. Let me be on you every day. She was like, I'm here for you. One, as a friend, I'm here for you when you're ready. Your business will never leave. And that's when I was like, okay, it clicked. Yes, I can do this. I'm ready now. But it took a little bit, and that's okay. So be ready with open arms, but give the tools to know they can get there. Okay. So think about that. You cannot change other people. You can only change yourself and the work you are putting into your business. If you are counting on that second front line to be paid a title, and that's all you need, that's on you. You need a sponsor. Where the rest of your front line, period. Okay. If you've got the GWV and the active frontline, but you're the problem, well, let's just call it what it is. You're the issue. There's not enough PRV there. That's you, boo. That's no one else. No one can do that for you. You need to expand your network. Why are you sitting there looking at your GWV and your active frontline being like, check, check. Ooh, yep, I don't have my 500. I'm sorry, you what? Hello, it's handed to you. Like, what are you doing? Wake up, get the PRV, okay? Make that so it's not an issue. Even if you're like, I'm gonna make sure I have that PRV in club, then cool, have the PRV in club, but don't let you hold your own self back, okay? So there's that. Vice versa now. Stop leading no one. Stop being a crappy leader and leading no one. Be a good leader, okay? Be a good leader. If you don't want it, you don't want it. Take a non-leadership role. It is what it is. I would much rather you take a non-leadership role and be like, I cannot, this is not gonna happen. I've been a crappy leader for a year. My time is up. I suck. Got it. I gotta focus somewhere else. You don't suck. You know what I mean? But like in this business area, you as a person don't suck. But in this business, I'm sucking. Okay, it's been a year. Non-leadership. 100%, we will understand that. We love you. We are here for you. We are there to help you with, it's your business. We're there to help you with all of your ideas. But do not choose to be a leader who does nothing, who chooses not to lead their people. That why? For what reason? Okay, that's gross. So like, no. All right, we're not going to do that. Okay. So we would rather you have taken on leadership role than lead a bunch of people down a crappy path. Or have a bunch of people say, wow, my Scentsy experience really sucked. Wow, Scentsy really sucks, but Scentsy doesn't suck. It's because their leader never showed up. There's a big difference. And I see that so often, okay, with people coming and asking me questions. And I'm like, you didn't join me, you joined someone else. And I will do my best to put it out there. Here's my YouTube channel, but my focus is my people. And I'm sorry that your leader chose not to do that. That sucks, all right? So keep that in mind as you're leading, okay? Stop being a crappy leader, okay? Some of you guys have some really bomb freaking people who are really ready to work, and you're not doing a thing about it. And it's easy for you. Like, it's so confusing to me. Like, it is easy for you. Like, what do you show up? Show up once in a while, and you've got these people who are rocking it out, but you're like, oh, well, there's a purple cloud shaped like a bunny. Like, what are we doing? Notice what you have, see the potential that you have on your team, and make something happen, okay? If it's you, if you're the problem, hi, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me, then change it. Change it. You should want more for yourself, period. And it's literally almost on like a silver platter at that point when you have really great people working on your team and in your downline, okay? So get out of your own way, see your potential and the potential of your team, show up or sit down. And I say it with all the love in my heart. Show up, because I know like that's got to be weighing on the back of these people's minds like as they sleep at night. I'm not leading these people. They're rocking it out. I'm the problem. I could be making X amount, but I'm not, because I refuse to book a party. I don't understand. I don't understand. I've, been yelling at my computer sometimes, and my 13-year-old is like, Mom, that makes no sense. Do you realize I could have bought an Xbox? Like, If my 13-year-old can get it, open your workstation, look at your numbers and figure out that you might be the issue, okay? And make it better. There's that. So that's a problem when, a 30-year-old can't, but a 13-year-old can see where the issue is there. So I want you guys to stop riding the coattails of your unicorn teamies. I said it. I'm always going to say, but I always say it with love. I'm going to say it. If it comes, it comes. I don't know. But stop riding the tails of your unicorn people. Like, show up, okay? Truly lead. Yes, it is so great that you have a director on your team and you can be paid a title like that. But like, why is your TWV going down and not up? Like, I'm so confused. Like, what? That's weird, right? That's because you're not building, because you're riding the coattails of somebody else. You're like, well, the director under me rocks. I'm good. That's a problem. And that's a problem in your growth mindset. That means you don't have a growth mindset. All right. And that's what we need to fix. Okay. Because guess what? Your people are watching you. That's why that TWV is not growing. That's why you're not sponsoring. That's why your PRV isn't getting any higher and it's actually gone down because everybody's watching you and you refuse to show up. You're just banking on that bomb director, which is not okay. All right. I want you to truly lead. What does that look like? You show up. That's first and foremost. You've got to show up. If you never post anything, you never comment on anything, they're not looking for my name. They're not looking for Heather's name. If she's not their sponsor, they're looking for their sponsor. They're looking for their leader's name. That's their first connection, and connection is everything in this business, okay? If they see Anya and Whitney posting all the time, but Kendra is their leader, and they're like, Kendra's not showed up, which she does because she's amazing. But if she didn't, and they're like, well, where's my leader? It's literally monkey see, monkey do. They will do what you do. You want them to show up, show up. The next thing is check in on them, like Whitney said. Does not need to be every day. It does not need to be every week, okay? It doesn't need to be every month, you guys. Check in on them. Check in on them, okay? Even, hey girl, you haven't been sponsoring, what's going on? And hey, I saw that, I always say little Johnny, because I can't think of, there's too many boys in my house. I can only think of Johnny, I don't know. Hey, little Johnny is sick. Just want to check in on you. Again, it doesn't have to be every week. But if I notice that one of my teammates has a sick kid and I message them, that's a big difference from me never ever speaking to them, okay? They need to know they're human and so are you, all right? The next thing is gonna be shout your people out. Big, small, if you notice it in that moment, take a minute just to shout them out underneath that shout out post, all right? I did, one of my newer girls messaged me and she said she was very anxious about just posting in general. She's like, I don't know why, I'm just, like, I'm taking the pictures. I'm so anxious about posting them. She finally freaking posted and I was like, that's going on this sneaking shout out post. Look at her. And I just happened to notice. And she was so thankful. I can't believe you noticed. I'm like, girl, I don't notice a whole lot of things ever, but I noticed that. And I'm going to make sure that I make a minute to shout you out because I knew it was a big deal for her. So if it's, and I think the longer we're in this business, the more it's like, okay, you're active. You should be like, okay. But like for some people, that's a big deal. Okay. For your hobbyists, if they're active more than 1 month, if you're actually looking at your numbers, and you can go shout them out. If you're actually checking your reports. Okay. If you have someone that you're like, they just told me they booked their 4th party for this month. They've never had this many parties. Shout them out. Okay. Even if it's little to you, it's big to them or they wouldn't have told you. Take that moment and shout them out. Okay. Even your downline. Stop acting like you don't want to talk to your front line. Shout your downline out. Let them know you see them. All right. Next, you actually have to do the work like Whitney talked about. Show them how you're working. That will go 10 times further than you being like, send your mail outs. Thank your people. Okay, what did you say? Show them an example of what you text your people. This is what I sent. This is what I put in my mail out. This is how I booked a party. Your conversations matter. And so many people, me included, get tripped up still to this day on what to say. I asked Whitney yesterday, I was like, what does this girl want? Why is she, I don't understand. Like, what is she saying to me right now? And my brain was just dead from sitting in conferences all week from 9 to 5. Ugh, Lord, this is why I have to be a Sensi consultant. I cannot work from 9 to 5. Anyways, I'm like, what is she saying to me? And Whitney broke it down. She's like, she's saying this. And I'm like, what do I say? You should say something like this. Got it. Done. Cool. I can do that. Show them. Okay. And if they reach out to you, don't be annoyed because, hi, superstar director, still asking how to say things. It just happens. It is what it is. Not all of us are great like that. Okay. So you actually need to be doing the work. Show them how you're working. Then the last thing is that I have for you guys, make sure you provide your teammates, your people, with an opportunity for them to learn, whatever that looks like. If you are not having meetings and you're a director, that's a problem. Also goes against your compliance. Keep that in mind for those of you who are leaders and have directors who don't have meetings. Just throwing that out there. But make sure you give them an opportunity to learn. If you're not sharing YouTubes, if you're not sharing trainings, if you are not sharing even what you're doing, or maybe even what you've seen other people do that was successful, that's a problem. We have to allow our people to work and learn because you don't know who's hungry at the end of the day. You really don't until they start to show up. And it could be somebody that's like 4 generations down. And you're like, dang, I didn't even see that person's name. Who are they? Let me look them up. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And they're adding you on Facebook and they're commenting on all the things because they want to learn. They're hungry. If they're hungry, feed the bear until they say, I'm full. You keep feeding, you keep feeding, you keep feeding your people everything they want to eat until they're full. Okay. So that is what I have for you. Yes. Don't make decisions for others. Thank you, Marissa. Absolutely. Because you just never know. You never know. They could be someone who just doesn't even show up to their launch party and then end up in SSD. I don't know. I might know someone like that. Me. It's me. Okay. So love your people, provide opportunities, don't make decisions for them. That's what I have.
Yes. So good. So good. So that was a lot between we had a lot to say tonight. But I think one of the main points that I hope you take or took or are taking away from this is leadership is nonstop. Leadership is nonstop movement. If you're not working your business, everything continues to crumble after, right? Same thing with the snowball effect. Your business first, and then you're a leader, right? And if you are not doing the ladder of success, dun, 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 things can start to get hard. So we're going to do popcorn really, really fast, like 3 people. I'm going to go ahead and pick. Whoever iPhone is on here, if you'll message me and let me know your name, that'd be great so I can enter you. But I am going to choose for a popcorn moment, Brittany. Brittany Bryant. Oh,
Okay, what am I saying?
hold on. Sorry. If you don't know what popcorn is, for our new people, this is just a time to share something that you're doing or that a tip or something, just a gold nugget. We should rename popcorn to gold nugget. Something good, something to share. And then you pick someone else. So we'll do 3 people. Go, Britt.
All right. So what I've been doing is I'm refocusing on my people because I can't keep messaging the ones who are like, oh, I want to work, and then they don't work. So I can only message you a few times, and then after that, I'm done. Like, oh, they were so excited about these chairs and the incentive, and they have yet put in any effort. So I made a poll and I messaged everyone individually. It was like, hey, if you want it, let me know. And next week I'll start mini challenges for you to do daily. That way you can put in the work and you can do it. And I was very bold. I was like, so if you don't do it, then I'm not going to message you the next day because you have to check back in with me, because I'm not going to sit here and take time out of my schedule and my plans to help them work their business if they don't put in the work. It sounds awful, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And that's what leadership is. So that's how I've been working, and we'll see who wants to actually work their business. And of course, I'm constantly trying to find people who want to join and bless them, because I've had people be like, oh my gosh, I would have never guessed this is what Scentsy is and this is what it's about. So you need to hone in on those people who love the products, who want that community, and show them, hey, all things are possible. And that's what I've been doing. Let's go with Teresa.
All right, what am I doing? I only have like one person doing anything because I only have two. But Megan knows the whole story about my reinstate, which is not going to work out, but I'm going to go to her house and try to help her get on her computer, and it's just not going to work out. I know it's not, but it's sort of a long story, but I'm still going to go try and help her do this. But she's not available till the 14th. So I don't know if she will be able to work this out or not, but I'm going through, I still have 6 pages of names from a couple huge parties that I had that I haven't had time to go through these. I've already gone through probably 6 pages of people's names. And, but I keep having a lot of parties, and I have a couple events coming up, and but that's what I'm doing. Let me see who's here. Let me go to Devin.
Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? I haven't thought about that. I guess this month I've really just focused more on my customers, like reaching out to them more, seeing like how they're doing personally, building those relationships. And I'm also working with my team more than I have in the past months, because I'm still fairly new to being a leader. And like making sure that they have the resources they need to grow themselves, and just making sure they're not overwhelming themselves at the same time. And hold on. Yeah, I don't really know what else. I haven't been like keeping track. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's just the big thing. It's just showing up, and that's knowing that your team, knowing that you're there. That's huge, huge. So we're going to go ahead and end the recording. Please tell me I record this. Yeah.